Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Rothkopf, managing attorney of Rothkopf Law Group, an elder care law firm serving our clients, seniors, those with disabilities, and their loved ones in both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Welcome, I should say, to our continuing virtual interview series of Who's Who of Elder Care Advocacy in the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley area. We are privileged today to have Marla Meyers with us. Marla Meyers is the Executive Director of Samost Jewish Family and Children's Services based in South Jersey. Marla, welcome.
Thank you, Jerry. I'm glad to be joining you today.
And it's great having you, and I always enjoy our conversation. And so let's talk about, there's a lot to talk about, but let's talk about Jewish Family and Children's Services. For those who are not familiar with JFCS of Southern New Jersey, can you talk about briefly, I know that you do a great deal of fantastic different advocacy and services for our community, but can you talk about in general terms, what is the mission of Jewish Family and Children's Services Southern New Jersey, and what types of individuals do you provide services to?
Sure. So our mission statement is that we give help, we give hope. The agency is a social work agency, and the idea is about self-determination and empowerment for individuals all along the spectrum of life. JFCS has a very long history in Southern New Jersey, well over 80 years, and we're part of a network of Jewish Family and Children's Service agencies from throughout the entire country and North America. So there's a robust history and a lot of us in our network. In Southern New Jersey, our goal is to help different pockets of vulnerable people to deal with life's challenges. So we help those who are impoverished, food insecure, people who are experiencing domestic violence issues. We help individuals with special needs, young adults who are trying to actualize their potential in life and have a great future. We help them with job placements. We help them to have social networks and such and activities like that. We also have a very active and robust counseling department. And through that department, we have licensed practitioners who provide mental health therapy and assistance to those who are having challenges in life. We see clients anywhere from the age of 5 years old up into well over 100 years old. And our therapists are truly quite talented in one-on-one therapy as well as group or family therapy as needed by that individual unit. We have a robust volunteer department that offers numerous opportunities for people in the community to volunteer their services, whether it's something that they can do periodically or something that they want to do on a weekly basis. And so that department really provides a lot of assistance for our major service areas so that we can deploy all of the wonderful services that we do. In our senior services department, which is what I wanted to end with, because I know that's really the focus of this discussion today, we have a plethora of amazing services to help those individuals who are on the older age spectrum to age in place with dignity. We have nurses, case managers, social workers, and program developers who offer all kinds of services, from individual therapy to support groups, to nurses who can come in and provide in-home care services, to all of the food pantry services that we offer, which can be deployed and brought into the homes of seniors, to the Holocaust survivors that we assist. And many people don't realize that there are 150 Holocaust survivors who live in the South Jersey region. And I'm very proud to say that we know most of them. And through the efforts that we have, we engage them with trauma-informed therapy, groups, socialization, and lots of one-on-one services. So JFCS is a big package of a lot of activities. And in addition to the things I shared already, we do a lot of education in the community. So you'll often find our agency in any of the 3 counties that we serve, Camden, Burlington, or Gloucester counties, at the schools or at the synagogues or churches, offering educational programs. Right now, on that plate of services, we have Coronation, an anxiety program for teens and families. We have TLC, This Life Counts, a suicide awareness program. We have One Step at a Time, which is our addictions awareness programming. We're also doing teacher anxiety workshops out in the field. And finally, we have our acclaimed LGBTQ plus programming for teens and tweens. We also have a group for LGBTQ seniors in that bucket as well. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a background on the variety of things that we do.
You do. We have known each other for many years. We have worked together for many years. I proudly serve, for full disclosure, I should say, I proudly serve on the board of directors of Jewish Family and Children's Services of Southern New Jersey. So, and I am just as for me, I am always amazed when I hear everything you do. And it's very difficult to fully grasp what you do. And you know, you talked about the Holocaust survivor programs that JFCS operates, and if I may gloat for a moment, my daughter Julia, I know, just did it. She participated and helped facilitate a virtual program for Holocaust survivors. I think this last Friday about Yiddish in film, which I understand, according to some of the attendees, was very well received. So that's a little nachas for me, if you don't mind. So is always very nice. So, but you do some wonderful programming. Now, if someone wanted, you know, obviously in 5 minutes or less, that was a couple hundred things that JFCS does and does very well. But if someone is interested in learning more about the programming in all of the areas that JFCS operates in, what is the best way for an individual to find out what JFCS does and to determine if the programming and services that JFCS offers is right for them?
So, I mean, if someone has the ability to go online, I definitely recommend that you look at our website, jfcssnj.org, and that'll give you, you know, a variety of that information. However, you know, we're really about people, and we're about the one-on-one relationship development. And so I would recommend somebody give a call to the agency and ask for an intake worker to discuss if they're looking for particular services. Our intake workers are amazingly wise and understanding all of the different things that are offered and really listening to what you're talking about. So say you're someone who's calling, presenting with some with anxiety or depression, the intake worker may, you know, prescribe that you have a conversation with one of our counselors to see if that might be a service for you. On the contrary, say you're a 50-year-old individual who is dealing with an aging parent who is ailing, falling in the home, and they're, you know, perhaps they still want to keep their identity and their independence. And so you're struggling to, how do I deal with that? We may have a support group for you in dealing as a caregiver, which is something that we offer under our senior support groups. There's about 8 of them that run annually. Or it could be that we could also prescribe to you to have a meeting with one of the social workers to talk about that aging and ailing parent and what services they might need and what options exist for them. I think that the whole goal of the agency is a very gentle and kind approach, a very one-on-one approach, concierge, if you will. We are very happy to give time to individuals to understand what you're telling us and to then figure out where to help provide you the resources that you need. We have so many of those resources available right at the agency. Of
And
course,
we'll
there's
put,
some things we don't do, and then we might refer you to a sister agency in the community.
right, and we'll make sure that JFCS information is, and contact phone number, website information is on the link that goes out in a few
Great.
weeks with this video interview. But I just want to be clear, because sometimes there's some confusion, and I want to make it clear to everyone watching this interview that JFCS serves a wide variety of cultures, religions,
Yes.
communities. It's non-denominational. So I just want you to be clear, because sometimes there's some confusion regarding the population that JFCS serves. Can you just elaborate on that a bit?
Sure. I'm so glad you brought that up, Jerry. I'm remiss that I didn't say that from the beginning. But JFCS has a long history of using Jewish values to serve our community at large. And so of the 11,000 clients that we serve each year, there are thousands who come from all different backgrounds, not just the Jewish background. And we're really proud of that. A lot of the services that we offer are unique. And so therefore, people of all communities seeking them out, they need to come to us. And it's our privilege and our honor to help create a world that is kind and gentle to all folks. And so we're here for everybody.
And let's talk a little about the past 8-9 months related to COVID. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's been well documented. It's kind of like old hat in the sense that you have successfully pivoted with the virtual programming, and that's going well with your staff working remotely, plus all the virtual programming that was previously in person that you're doing. But let's talk about what some of the challenges still exist for either delivery of JFCF services, or some of the challenges that specifically maybe your senior clients are currently still having.
So I'm going to say the word hugs, and I mean that in the broadest sense, but they miss hugs. They miss human contact. And while our senior case managers, social workers, nurses, and program folks are in constant communication with our seniors, and there's thousands of them that we serve, they so gravely miss the human contact. It used to be that our social workers and folks and nurses would go out and visit with them, spend time in their homes. And because we want to be really cautious, of course, about everyone's health, we've had to limit that to phone contact and also Zoom. I am proud to say that we've helped lots of seniors get online. We've taught them how to use Zoom or their phone, and they're much more capable than they ever thought they were at having, sessions virtually, and that does help. But they're lonely, and there's a lot of isolation out there. And so the workers miss them, and they miss our workers. We've tried our best to provide some level of contact for essential things. When we know that a senior is truly alone in the world and without some kind of contact, their depression is going to be elevated. We have in some cases deemed this to be essential and sent someone, either a worker or a vetted qualified volunteer, to socially distance and visit with them from well over 6 feet away with PPE. We didn't do that until more recently as we saw the escalation of anxiety and depression. And I will say that for the Holocaust survivors, COVID has really exacerbated their feelings of trauma. And we've taken serious note of the feeling of being boxed in, of being, unable to communicate, to feeling that there's so many rules around them. that it has caused a lot of survivors to really raise a hand and say, I'm not okay. I'm really feeling anxiety. And we've doubled up our efforts with them the best that we can. More Zooms, more support groups, more phone calls, more attention, and we're doing the best that we can. So I'd say the answer to the question is the missing of hugs.
Sure. And the social isolation, virtual meetings only go so far.
Yeah.
Virtual visits only go so far to address the social isolation that many people are going through, specifically our seniors.
Yeah, but one of the things I do want to share is that our Patient Partners Program, which is one of the most, I'd say, creative programs that we sponsor in the senior department. I mean, they're all creative, but this one's especially creative. The idea of Patient Partners is that we train patient advocates to be the escort to a senior to their medical visits. And as we know, a lot of seniors may not have children or loved ones close by. They may be alone. Their spouse may not be able to help them, or their spouse may no longer be living, or they may be single to begin with. So we've trained patient advocates to escort them to their doctor's appointments. We really have had to stop this because of COVID, but now we're trying to readdress it and trying to figure out how best can we position our patient advocate volunteers to help the seniors. And we do a serious training program. And so our nurse, Susie Abrams, has actually developed a new thing online for the volunteers, a real experiential training where the volunteers are able to put themselves in the shoes of the senior. So literally she sends them in the kit rocks and shoes and, Google glasses so you can't see, and, things that simulate arthritis so that the volunteers can see what it feels like in order to best maybe meet the person at the physician if the volunteer is safe at that and the client is also safe. So we've tried to adapt during this time to address as best as we can the needs. But I will say that our agency has left nothing unturned. There is not one service that we used to do that we haven't continued. We've only grown during this time. And it just shows that in the times of greatest challenge in our country and our world, social service agencies need to be bolstered up and given even more resources so that they can do the great job that they have.
100% agree. And a lot of people, the issue, you mentioned volunteers, and I know that JFCS is always looking for volunteers, but the issue really is we talk about the issues that your clients and the individuals who utilize your services face with social isolation, but there's also another issue related to volunteers. And even for my own mother, who volunteered at what formerly was the Abramson Center in suburban Philadelphia, and through the auxiliary helped run the gift shop there for many years. And she's sitting home, and forget about that. Abramson has since been sold. We won't go in that direction. But the real issue is that there are very limited volunteer opportunities at this point. The gift shop is closed. And even, she's looking, she would love to do volunteer opportunities. So you have a lot of individuals, retirees, even at home, even if they're relatively healthy, the socialization and the feel good of the heart with volunteer opportunities have been significantly diminished. So
it has a horrible effect. And I'll tell you, yes, your daughter, and there's other teens and young adults who volunteer with us, and we love having them. They're just wonderful. But the majority of people who volunteer with our agency are retirees. So for example, in our food pantry, which serves 6,000 families a year with, all kinds of resources on a regular basis, there's this cadre of men who are in their 70s who have been our stronghold. They're the ones who would do all the shopping at Costco and get all the buys, and they would set up the shelves, and they would pack the sets and help deliver. And because of COVID, there's been a lot of limitations of, we've had some volunteers helping in limited basis, but there's fear of some of them of getting COVID. They have to be quarantined. And it's been so sad, Jerry. It's really a sad thing. And so a lot of volunteers are just hankering to do something. And we've tried to also be creative with them the best that we can. But of course, everyone's physical health safety is the most.
Absolutely. And we're recording this conversation on November 9, and obviously when the COVID's skyrocketing locally in New Jersey and the Philadelphia area, and it's probably going to get worse as we go toward further into the holiday season. So it's not going to get any better anytime soon, at least what it appears right now. I hope we're wrong, but that's what it certainly looks like. But let's talk about maybe I want to change the topic a little bit from directly away from the services before we end that JFCS provides. I want to talk about maybe I mentioned leadership qualities. I know that you study leadership qualities, and you are a leader. You're a leader of a 160 plus team and an 8 million plus budget at JFCS that you're charged to lead the troops. So let's talk about maybe the qualities of a leader, because I know you studied leadership qualities and what makes a good leader. And what are some qualities that has helped you through these past 9 months that, looking back on, that really helped you understand what's going on. And so because you need to have a firm grip of the wheel and be able to drive everyone and navigate everyone. And it's not easy, that position. So what allowed you to move forward and be in the position that JFCS is today? Obviously a lot of good people you work with, I get that. But leadership, of course, starts at the top. And so how can you talk in a few minutes before we end about those leadership qualities and how important being a leader is?
Yeah, I think that, leaders are human beings too. And so when a crisis in your community approaches you, I think that it's really important to take note of your own anxieties and your own fears about what is standing in front of you, okay? And then to resolve yourself to saying, well, here I am the captain of this ship. And this is a time for me to use everything that's in my toolbox to be able to move forward and past those anxieties and fears, and to enable my team to reach its potential. I think that for me, I was resolved in the very beginning to be a cheerleader. We can do this. We can get through it. We can pivot. We can make new things happen. We are that great. And this is the messages to my team. And I got to tell you, within a couple weeks, people really got on the bandwagon. They were feeling a can-do attitude, a lot of support, and our managers were working very diligently with all of the workers and the team to help them create their own toolbox so that they could succeed. I will say that for me, I do need a cadre of my inner circle to help me to feel, empowered and to bounce ideas off of and to gain consensus. I'm a consensus-driven leader. Although I do know there are times when I have to make a decision and I have to move forward, even if it's not something that's popular. However, in this case, I have an inner circle, a team that said we can do it, and that's exactly what we did. And so quickly, the pivot happened, and then the celebrations really started. And we like to, our victories at JFCS are not that people make a ton of money. The victories are the clients and the stories, the narratives that they give us back. And so using those stories and narratives to claim our success and our victory and to really show it to each other. That's how we also got fuel. And so we thrive off of each other. I also have a group of colleagues in the Jewish Federation system that I've been working closely with over these months. And we've been holding each other up and helping each other get through this time. And I'm really proud. This has been you know, in my career of 30 years in the Jewish leadership zone, there are a few crowning achievements, and I feel very proud of what we were as a group able to do. And I will also say our board has been so tremendously helpful and supportive.
Well,
So humility is a good thing. It's not all about me, it's about us, but we have to also, you can't have great things happen if you don't will them, and somebody has to will them and drive them.
one of the qualities of a great leader is being humble. So humility is a very strong trait of a great leader. So thank you for all you do, and as you've already said, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and you have to surround yourselves with a good team in order to be successful, whatever you're doing in life. So thank you for all you do, Marla Meyers, Executive Director of Jewish Family and Children Services of Southern New Jersey. Thank you for everything you do and the entire team at JFCS does. So, and thank you for your time today. I very much enjoyed our conversation.
I always enjoy talking to you, Jerry, and we appreciate, the agency always appreciates partnering with Rothkopf Law. We have lots of wonderful partners in the community, but we know how much you care about the senior population and what efforts you put forward to help them. So thank you for having me. And I look forward to seeing you at a board meeting or maybe in person sometime soon. That would be great.
I hope so, in person sometime soon. I just don't know when. So thank you again.
Okay.
All right.
Be well. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.